Hey everyone, welcome back to RJK English. Today we're going to continue talking about grammar. We're going through all of English grammar together slowly. Once we're done, we're going to have a whole library that you can use. Okay, groups that inspired me are like Hindi University. Look up Hindi University. Ashutosh created this huge library to help you learn Hindi if you want to learn Hindi. If you haven't checked it out, go there. Today we're going to talk about imperatives. Imperatives. This is where you're telling someone to do something directly. We're going to first introduce it, and then I'm going to tell you how we actually use it, okay? So you want someone to stop. 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 Notice there's an exclamation point because you're really telling someone to do something. Stop. Someone's sleeping and you need, or someone's sitting down and you need them to get up. Get up. You need help on the street. Help! Help! You know, you're yelling it. You want someone to read something. Read this. You're teaching a class. Hey, your turn. Read this passage. Your turn. Notice these are short and direct and to the point. In Hindi, we often use imperatives that can be polite. You know, dekhiye. Look at this, but it's a very polite way of saying it. Dekhiega, very, very polite. Dekho, look, but you know, kind of polite, but kind of nice. Dek, this is a bad way of saying it, you know. In English, we don't really have these types of things, so I'm going to show you how to use this properly in English. Here's another. Give that to me. Give that to me. Eat. You want someone to eat. Eat. Stop talking. Eat. Here's one that is, now we're getting into more polite ways of talking to people. If you're talking to a group, it's more common to speak directly because you're talking to a group. Everybody, please sit down. You're going to start a meeting. Everybody, please sit down. Or everybody sit. If you want to be short, everybody sit. Right? But moving into being polite, everybody, please sit down. Please, this is an indication of how we talk in American English. If we want to say not to do something, we add do not. But usually we contract it to don't. Don't. There's an N before that T. Don't. Don't. Don't rush. No hurry. I put an orange under here because this is actually a polite thing to say to someone. You're wanting them not to take trouble, right? Don't rush, no hurry. Could you read this, please? Don't rush, no hurry. Don't worry. Don't worry. We say this a lot, but it's actually polite. This is not rude to say to someone. Don't worry. This is more advice, and we do sometimes say this directly. We don't usually say please with advice. Don't believe everything you hear. This is not direct at someone, so it's usually not taken as rude to say this to someone. Don't believe everything you hear. Oh, don't believe him when he talks. Take him with a grain of salt. Don't believe him. We can usually kind of say this. It's pretty polite. Don't trust it. You know, when I was growing up, there was a rap song. Don't trust it. Don't trust it. Yeah. So often with imperatives, we say them only when it's an emergency or only in special situations. So you have to be very careful with imperatives. Let me display how we generally speak. So, like I said, in other languages, we have ways of conjugating verbs to make them polite. You know, in Spanish, you can use usted or you can use tú form, right? Tú is very informal. Usted is very formal. Same with Italian. In Hindi, I already displayed how we use it. But in English, we don't have a different way. So we have to add things, and we have to be careful how we talk to people. So the magic of please. And we can use please at the beginning, please at the end. Please close the door. So you're saying, here's the imperative. Close the door. Close the door. Please close the door. Close the door, please. Okay? To Hindi speakers of English, I would recommend that you don't use please as much as I hear from Hindi speakers. A lot of times you use it as a way of saying, of convincing someone, oh, please, 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 please. Be careful how much you use this. We really mean please when we say it in English. We use it in this way. Please close the door, or close the door, please. You can also say, do come in. Do come in. This is kind of a formal way of talking to people. If guests are coming over, oh, do come in. You can also say just. You can use just at the beginning to soften how you're talking about something. Just give me a minute. You can say, give me a minute. That can be rude, right? Give me a minute. You can say, just give me a minute, please. And if you add please at the end, it's even better. Just give me a minute, please. Are you noticing that I'm using please a lot? We are very polite in general in English. Let's not do that. Okay, we say this to children a lot. Let's not do that. We're dispersing the way we're talking by making it about all of us. Let's not do that. But you're really saying don't do that. In English, we're very sensitive to whether you telling us what to do. We do not like being told what to do. With my friend from Kashmir, Muzaffar, he can tell me what to do. Close the window. And I will do it. But with people in the US, we're very careful about this. So so before I get into more ways, let's talk about one other thing using let's. You can use this to suggest an activity. This is a very good way of saying, let's get some lunch. Let's get some lunch. Hey, let's go out tonight. You're not demanding, you're suggesting. Let's talk to that guy. Hey, let's watch some TV. We say this a lot. Let's watch some TV. It means let us. It's a contraction. Let us. Here's how we really talk in English, okay? We talk in questions. So even my wife will do this. Can you take out the garbage? She will ask me this question. Well, I could ask, can you means the ability to. Yeah, I could take out the garbage. And I could just stand there, right? What would she do? She would get a little bit angry, right? So we demand things by asking questions in general. Even your boss at work will often do this. Can you get that to me by 5 o'clock? Can you get that project to me by 5 o'clock? Really, from your boss, that means get that to me by 5 o'clock. Would you take the garbage out? Would you take the garbage out, please? Another way of asking, somewhat polite, will you take the garbage out? That's more of a direct question. And it can have different meanings. We say can a lot. Could you is a little more formal than can you. But again, we ask questions. So even with my best friend, I would say, hey, can you close the door? Well, he'd say, yeah, I have the ability to close the door. Do you want me to? But I really mean close the door. We say this a lot. There's a joke. Maybe some of you are still with me. But I lived in Chicago with people from all different countries, right? And there was one guy from Finland. And what I know about Finland in general is they talk a little bit less and they're very direct. Americans are very polite. So he was driving with one of my friends and they were driving cross country, right? So the Finnish guy turns to the American and says, roll the window down. Roll the window down. And the American turns to him and goes, what do you say? So in English, we'll say this to children. If children say, give me that, we'll say, what do you say? And they're supposed to say, please, right? So the guy goes, roll the window down. He goes, the American turns and goes, what do you say? And the Finnish guy says, oh, sorry, roll it down now. Okay, so totally wrong way to use it. He meant, the American wanted him to say please. And it is very important to Americans to hear that please. So kind of a long one. I'm kind of long-winded. I apologize. Make sure to like and subscribe and ask questions, comment. I want to interact with you. Ask me questions. I really appreciate the person that asked me a question on the last video. and they gave their example in English perfectly. So great job. Also, hit us up on RJK English so that we can talk more and have longer conversations. See you later.